estate developer and vacation rental manager here in North Carolina. And this opportunity's been, like I said, we've been working on this since February of this year, but this is the most, we've done other raises for other vacation rental. We call them like micro resorts, but this is probably the most exclusive one in the country. So it's they're themed properties, but themed is it's not themed in a cheesy way, but there's 7 units currently. And then there's another 13 that are being built out that will be done. 7 of those 13 will be done by the end of this year. It's a rare off-market luxury resort opportunity, Asheville, North Carolina. 20 unique units total with a wedding pavilion. We have experience with a wedding pavilion and an event center at another property that we own. The 2 biggest things of this deal is there's no bank involved in this deal. It's the owners have agreed to carry an owner financing note at 60% at 3% interest for 5 years. And the other thing that I've been in the vacation rental industry for 7 years now is just the regulations that people are afraid of. This property has indefinite conditional use zoning that runs with the property, meaning that the city or the county can never really take it away either without a fight or whatnot. The current 7 units also have been featured on Netflix, HGTV, A&E, and PBS. And then that's probably the most important slide, and we like to put it up front, the numbers on the deal. So we're projecting after the 5 years is a 2.9 equity multiple, 27.8% internal rate of return, and then a 19.7 stabilized annual cash on cash return. We're not taking over any construction of this deal. The construction is being handled by the sellers, and it took about a couple months to negotiate what the penalties were if they weren't finished in that time, which are pretty aggressive. And with us being at the end of the year, another big point about this deal is we are giving the entire tax benefit to our investors, so to our limited partners. Just this year alone, we did a cost segregation analysis on the property. We'd be able to give $2.69 million worth of tax write-off to our investors if they qualify as real estate professionals, which is huge. So here are the current 7 units. We have Perch and Sanctuary, which are the first 2, and then the other ones are a little bit more themed. Their average daily rates are anywhere between $480, and they'll go up to, with our numbers, all the way up to $1,200 a night. The property is only about it's 2 exits away from downtown. You have access to all the monitored amenities. You can get grocery delivery up there, any type of restaurant delivery you can think of. And then these are the current, the remainder of the 13 other units. So you have the village with the pavilion, and then the 7 other unique units. The history of the property, this was originally part of a 50-acre just parcel of land that the sellers own. The sellers actually live right next to the property, and they're going to continue to live next to the property. And they developed the entire HOA that's up there. So this property lives inside of an HOA, and it's baked into the bylaws of the HOA, meaning not only that the city can't get rid of it, but also the neighbors cannot vote it out of the HOA. The bylaws specifically state that they cannot be voted out of the HOA. It's in a gated community, which is really cool because there are luxury properties around it. There's 45 other properties around it further up the mountain, but these 20 units are self-contained on an 18-acre parcel. It's cool for the guests too, because they go through a private gate to be able to get up to the property, and the drive going up there is pretty easy as well. So our plan moving forward, so the biggest thing is, so the current owners on the 7 units have a 93% occupancy. In the hospitality world, that's not necessarily a good thing. That means that their prices, their average daily rates are too low. And they don't really have a marketing plan. They're listed just on Airbnb and not the greatest direct booking website. And what we plan on doing, what we've already started doing, even without owning the property, is we've already started pushing a lot of social media to social media influencers and other pages to feature this property. And we're going to get it on all the other platforms. Like I own 16 other properties here in the market myself that my operations company manages. And we're listed across 15 other platforms, including Expedia, which is probably the biggest one. When people think vacation rentals, they think of Airbnb, VRBO, but Expedia is the biggest one by far. So getting it listed on Expedia, VRBO, Airbnb, Booking.com, Agoda, and all these niche like micro resort, vacation rental type of websites, platforms that other managers don't get on. And then the biggest thing is introducing the weddings and events. So we've been managing another wedding venue and event center that we took over that I would consider mid-tier compared to this one, which is higher tier, for the last year. And we completely understand that business. We have a third-party event planning company that manages all of the brides and events and corporate retreats that happen here. Asheville itself is known as a more destination location for both wedding events. We're hour and a half from Charlotte, a couple hours from Raleigh, 4 hours from Nashville, 4 hours from Atlanta. So sort of a meeting ground of all those different cities, and it sits in the middle of the country as well. This is what I just talked about the social media marketing. The Mike Iannetta, who's responsible, he manages the social media for some of the top resorts in the world, including Son of a Johnny in the Maldives and the 7-star hotel in Dubai. He manages their social media. And Mark Simpson, who is going to help us with direct booking. So what a direct booking is instead of a guest going to any of these websites, our goal is to eventually bring them onto our direct booking site for them to book direct with us. And our goal in 18 to 24 months is to be fully direct with this property, where we're not relying on the OTAs, the online travel agencies like Airbnb, VRBO, Marriott, Booking.com. We're controlling the entire guest experience. Because for anyone who's managed vacation rentals or have heard anything about managing vacation rentals, some of these OTAs, these platforms are not the best to deal with. And that's how we are solving that issue. Here's the event center and the wedding pavilion. So it's an uncovered pavilion. We're going to close it in after year 1. And the entire property is 18 acres. So like the wedding venue, the people who would be renting out the property would be either renting out either the village or the entire property, which sleeps up to 83 people. So you can essentially have your entire wedding or corporate retreat up there without having to leave the property at all. And then here's some stats about Asheville. Saw about 12 million annual visitors last year, $2.6 billion spent in tourism, just under $100 million spent on weddings in 2022, which is crazy. And then $813 million spent on lodging. One thing I didn't mention in the beginning was this property, our company has access to global vacation rental comparables. And this is the top property in the country when you compare it to revenue, compared to average daily rate, and the reviews that it has. Just the current 7 alone have over 3,000 reviews. And then here's the growth. Our total raise is 9.2 million. We're about $4 million into that. We're going to take it into next year with an option to extend beyond that. And then here is the structure. So it's a minimum of $250K investment. We can do $100,000. Our PPM states that we can do a minimum of 100,000. Accredited investors only, 50-50 split with an 8% preferred return. And then we're going to hold for 5 to 7 years, depending on what the interest rates look like. And then that is practically it. So that's me. So I was in the Marine Corps for 5 years. I was originally a Marine Corps infantryman, and then I was selected to go to Marine Barracks, Washington, over there at 8th and I. I was part of the honor guard there, and I was eventually in charge of the Marine Corps 21 gun salute team for 2 years there, which was a really humbling experience. And then here's my other partner, Kevin, who's not on the call with us today. But yeah, he's an Air Force captain who is currently in the middle of getting out, and he's in charge of one of the partners in Active Duty Passive Income Network. So that's the investment. There's my information, and then there's the current websites for both the current property and if you guys are interested in investing, there's my email address as well, or the email address to the thing, to the calendar link, and then you can either book a call with me or Kevin to go through the entire deal.